Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Recently, the World Health Organization shared that high blood pressure, diabetes, and dementia are going to grow exponentially by 2030. That sounds like it's far away, but we're about to complete 2022. 2030 will come fast. Of the 194 countries that they studied in regards to the population's health, less than half have a policy on healthy living. Just think of that. So much policy on defense, so much policy on voting, yet less than half have a policy on such a fundamental like one's swasti, or well-being. And this report has shared this growth in illness is going to cost the world $27 billion a year in reference to healthcare. The implication that this report is trying to share is that countries should have a policy on healthy living. The people who live in countries should exercise. A lot of this is preventable, can be slowed down. And this is why this whole week we've been training ourselves in appreciate what you have. Appreciate your physical well-being, your mental well-being. Then we will not plan for what we want. Planning for what we want makes us sick. In our culture, you, me, all of us are known as Rishi Putras, which means the children of the Rishi culture. A Rishi is one who can see what another cannot see, but the seeing is not with their eyes. They don't have a special telescope that I can't afford. They see this through feeling the present, feeling the presence. Prior to yesterday's workshop, we have explored 30 facets of this multiverse that are great, that are the greatest, and for us to feel that the source of all of this is God. In these 30 directions, a lot of background is needed, and a lot of background has been shared from Ramayana, from Bhagavatam. A lot of education in Sanskrit is needed. A lot of details about Sanskrit have been shared. I'm encouraging all of you to practice viveka, which means to know what to focus on. There are many who complain, I don't have this background, or you use Sanskrit. You are finding reasons to not personalize rather than to personalize. The summary of what Sri Krishna is trying to do is for us to feel God. Do you need to know all in Ramayana and Bhagavatam to feel God? Do you need to know Sanskrit? That is a choice you're making if you're one of those seekers. And I'm asking you to practice more maturity, focus on what's important, but I'm not going to stop sharing the background in the Sanskrit. It is divinity in the details. In verse 29, Anantaschasmi naganam. Shri Krishna is Ananta, also known as Shesha. This is the same serpent with multiple hoods that covered Sri Krishna when he was being carried from Mathura to Gokula. Those who know that narration, from the city to the village, and it was pouring, the same Shesha protected that baby from getting wet. Varuno yada samaham. The greatest is the deity of the ocean, that is Varuna. The deity of water, that is Varuna. What is cool in this sequencing is that first Sri Krishna shared the greatest is the ocean, but see how he's taking us deeper. Deeper than the ocean is that semi-god that facilitates the ocean. The Sura Varuna looks like a merman. Isn't that interesting? We feel that mermans are a creation of, let's say, Western thinking. But the Sura Varuna, this is how he looks. And this is all shared thousands of years ago. One more interesting insight. In the churning of the Milky Ocean, the 9th substance to come out is Varuni. Varuni means liquor, an intoxicant. The corrupted form of water is liquor. Water makes you more aware. Liquor makes you more unaware. Fascinating. Pitranam Aryama Chasmi. Shri Krishna is Aryama. And what's important to note about all of this, our bodies are born, our bodies die, our minds do not. My great-grandparents, my grandparents, my parents who are still alive, my parents, all of us are connected. So whenever we think of ancestors, we shouldn't think in the past tense. We should think in the present tense. We're all connected. Our minds never died. And that's why in our culture, at a funeral, when a body is being cremated, is being burned, we offer water and rice. Not to that body, because the body can't consume, it's dead. Water and rice. Why we do this is the way that water and food, or water and earth, keeps a body alive. We're offering this to our ancestors, sharing, we will keep you alive. The values you helped us to learn, like my grandparents to me as an example, I will keep those alive. If I keep those alive, I'm keeping you alive then, correct? See how deep each of these quarters is. And finally, Yamasamayatamaham. Shri Krishna is amongst all of those who discipline Yama. I'm reading some insights from Pujya Swami Chinmayananda. Step by step, I must die in order that I may be born into the next step. Progress in itself is a partial picture of life. It is only a squint-eyed vision of life's total dynamism. Every development is to be preceded by a prior destruction. Annihilation, thus contributing to positive progress, is called death's own creative art. When a painter paints a flower, he not only pours his color on the canvas to paint his subject, but his creative art is a constant destruction of the surface coating that was earlier given on the canvas. But for death, functioning intelligently at almost the same speed at the rate of creation, there would have been an inordinate flood of things in life, and life itself would have got choked by its own magnitude and number. What Pujaswami Chinmayananda is sharing is, there cannot be living without dying. And that's why in our culture, the icon of death, or the semi-god of death, has the name Yama. Yama means the disciplined one, also known as Dharma, the responsible one. When we learn all we can learn in this body, what will happen to this body? It will die. And the mind will graduate into a new body and continue learning. And when you learn all, you learn you are divine, you will step on Yama to reunite with Sri Krishna. In many of the images, you see that there's this being that's being stepped on. That being is Yama. And for those who are one with Sri Krishna, they step on Yama. They're fearless. Verse 30, our final verse for some time. Pralada chasmi daityanam kala kalayatamaham mriganam cha mrigendroham venate yascha pakshinam. Daityanam aham or asmi pralada. Some insights into this. This 35th direction is sharing. The children of Aditi are known as Aditya. Remember that example? Now the children of Diti are known as Daityas, and the greatest amongst them is Pralada, the Jnani Pralada. He is one who is an icon of trust. When so many were challenging him, trying to kill him, he had full trust, full knowledge of the presence. And that's why the word Pralada means the one who's delighted. And so can delight. What we can apply into our lives from this one direction is to build up to be trusting in the divine. Kalayatam aham, amongst all forms of time. Here, kalayatam means not time, but those who reckon, those who finalize. I am kalaha, which is time. If you think of what's always bearing upon us, it's time, correct? What is going to finalize anything, say business deal? It's time. In our culture, if you go to a mandir, sometimes you will see icons, like at our ashram, there's Sri Krishna and Bhagavati Radha, and around that there's a Prabhavali, which means rows of glories. And in the middle of this, there's a scary face in this Prabhavali. That scary image is time, referenced here. That everyone outside of this circle is going to be reckoned by time. And so the purpose of our life, almost like a bullseye, is to be in this circle, this inner circle with the divine that is not subject to time. That face is Kala. Inside that circle is Mahakala, the one who brings time to time. In December of next year, one of the organizations I work with called United Consciousness, we're organizing a conference in Ujjain. I'm inviting all of you. And one of the mandirs we will go to in Ujjain is known as Mahakaleshwar. This whole mandir, this whole temple is to the Lord of Time. For us, how to apply this. Someone had shared with me, the days are long, but the years are short. Do you all feel that? We have long days, but those long days pass quickly. Make sure you're making use of your days, because they will turn into years like this year ending. Mriganam cha mrigendroham. Amongst animals, I am the Indra of animals, which is a lion. Are you keeping track of all of the animals we're focusing on? So now the greatest is a lion. In our culture, the lion of Vedanta, the Vedanta Kesari, is also often associated with Pujya Swami Vivekananda. A lion is an icon of fearlessness. How can we be like a lion, fearless? Through Vedanta. Know who you are. And finally, Vainateyascha Pakshinam, amongst all birds. So animals, now birds. I am Vainateyaha, which means Garuda. That is the vehicle of Bhagavan Narayana. I am Garuda. An implication of this is, once Sri Garuda had asked Rishi Bhushundi, what is the greatest sin? And the response was gossip. The greatest sin is to think gossip, speak gossip, hear gossip. So now when you tune into this final quarter about Garuda, try to remember, be careful with gossiping. We pause here from inspiration to application. Your recent application was for you to prepare insights into the foundation of diversity is unity. The main thought I shared to the city of Ottawa was, when you understand unity, diversity feels like differences. And that's beautiful. When you don't understand diversity, when you don't understand unity, then diversity feels like distances. And that is not beautiful. Differences are beautiful, distances are not. Understanding unity determines that. Your application for this morning, really for the next 10 days, I want you to continue with Meaningful Mornings through our Dhyana Yoga or Chapter 6 recordings on our Chinmaya Nagra YouTube channel. My prayers to Sri Krishna to help us to evolve from seeing to feeling. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.